watching the IUP TV News Bulletin, bringing you stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community on Channel 6 and 20.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday, December 1st. I'm Jasmine Russell.
And I'm Hannah Caminetti, coming to you this evening in association with WIUP News.
The walkway near McElhaney and Copchick Hall is now reopened. Students will be able to directly walk to the North Dining Hall from the majority of on-campus dorm rooms. Before this, students were left to either go around Ackerman and Walwork Hall or on grass next to the extended construction zone. This comes as the majority of the new Science Hall's exterior is now complete.
IUP has been selected for a nonpartisan group list for most engaged campus on college student voting. This list recognizes schools that work to increase nonpartisan student voter registration, education, and ensured access to the polls for their campus community. To be on the list, schools need to participate in the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge, share a 2020 National Study of Voting and Engagement, develop and submit a 2022 Democratic Action Plan with All-In, and lastly, have a current signatory to All-In's higher education president's commitment to full student voter participation.
According to the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Statistics, the unemployment rate has increased for Indiana County by 0.2 percentage point to 4.7%. The statewide unemployment rate is now at 4%. That is now the lowest rate since the state started keeping records in 1976.
An effort to expand broadband capabilities statewide in the Commonwealth is now becoming a reality. Governor Tom Wolf and the Pennsylvania Broadband Authority released its plan to address both the immediate need as well as the long-term needs of Pennsylvanians. The authority's plan to expand the broadband internet focuses on its challenges and opportunities, including improving digital equity, technology access, digital literacy, and technical support.
The world's biggest volcano, Mauna Loa, located in Hawaii, has erupted earlier this week, though the last time it erupted was in 1984. Weeks prior, the island has been experiencing earthquakes, which according to the United States Geological Survey issued, it may have disrupted magma chambers beneath the volcano, which could have caused the beginning of the eruption.
Americans gathered for Thanksgiving last week among a flu season that's worse than any has been in more than a decade, and experts continue to urge caution as multiple respiratory viruses circulate at high levels nationwide. In the week ending November 19th, nearly 1 in 10 deaths nationwide was due to pneumonia, influenza, or COVID-19. The CDC estimates that there have been at least 6.2 million illnesses, 53,000 hospitalizations, and 2,900 deaths from the influenza this season.
President Joe Biden's student debt bailout worked well for the voting Democrats. However, not so well for them in the courts. It has been said that 2 federal courts issued orders halting the U.S. Department of Education students' loan cancellation program. Instead of letting the legal process unfold, Biden extended the student loan moratorium yet again. Merriam-Webster says gaslighting is the word of the year. Lookers for the word has increased by 1,740% in 2022. It's defined as an evil tool used by abusers in relationships and by politicians and other newsmakers. However, despite the recent prominence, the word existed for more than 80 years now.
Over the weekend, protests against China's strict COVID restrictions ricocheted across the country in a rare case of nationwide civil unrest. Protesters have been screaming, "Lift the lockdown," in a city in China's far west. On the other side of the country in Shanghai, demonstrators held up sheets of blank white paper, turning them into an implicit yet powerful sign of defiance. One protester, who was later detained by the police, was carrying only flowers. Coming up, how college students are handling finals after the fall break.
Also, taking a look at sports culture with the media after this.
The Hub Fitness Center is the go-to place on campus for students to work out. The cardio machines will keep your heart rate pumping. And there is plenty of equipment for strength training of your choice. Our functional training rooms will help keep your core in shape. From strength training to cardio, this is the place to go to stay fit.
Handling a single test is a stressful feat in itself, but finals week has many tests at once. Donovan Carrington says that students find themselves making big changes to fit their schedules into place.
Finals week. It's a joyous and also stressing end to your school year, especially for college students. Joyous because it's the end of the first semester. You did it. Now we're on winter break, and we have a month and a half to relax and de-stress. But I also said it was stressful. It's stressful due to it just being the final exams, where some people have up to as little as 1 or maybe 7, depending on how many classes are taken or how many finals the teachers decide to get. The finals are a final test, as I said, that goes over everything that you have learned through the whole entire year.
I'm feeling alright about my finals. I have like half final projects, half final like exams, and I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm gonna have to do to like get them done, and I know the questions, so I'm feeling alright. I'm excited for the pancakes on Monday.
Different people have different reactions to this. Some are confident and know that they're going to do extremely well, and others are sweating from the stress of the test. For myself, I always get stressed out with tests to begin with, so the finals for me is the literal definition of nightmare. That being said, people have found ways to get themselves prepared and relaxed for the test so that they can take it comfortably and with no fear.
I am familiarizing myself with the questions that are going to be asked. Like some of my professors, they put like study guides online, so I just make sure that I have enough time looking at those study guides. One of my professors put out the final exam early, so I can get that done throughout the week, so I have a lot more time. I'm just making sure that I have enough time and that I am familiar with the material, so that way I'm not like waiting until the last minute and I'm not like super anxious about it.
This is Donovan Carrington, and until next time, you guys have a great week and take care.
Much like our shows here, filming sports takes a lot of preparation, and for some, it might be too much.
But for others, it may be just what they're looking for, that along with everything else in the sports culture. This is addressed here by our Kaylee Wanderoff.
Sports enhance social and cultural life by bringing together individuals and communities. A team culture is so important because it directly influences many areas that affect team functioning and performance. Whether you're an athlete or a part of the team organization, you are a part of the culture in the sports.
Hi, I'm Ryan Rebholz. I'm the Director of Strategic Communications and Ideation for IUP Athletics. The culture of sport is, if I had one word, I would say team. No matter if you are actually part of one of our teams here or part of the administration or coaching, I think we all kind of come together and we all view each other as part of one team.
Athletes, being the participants in sports, have their own definition of what it means to be a part of a team and sports culture.
Hello, my name is Austin Muller. I am a 5th year here at IUP and I play baseball. What sports culture means to me, or what I think about sports culture, is taking accountability in a team and understanding your team and having great success. Also, along with team, everyone comes together and has a great goal in mind, and completing that goal.
There is a lot that you might not know about working in the sports industry.
Working in sports is super fast-paced. It can be stressful. A lot of people might not know, but a lot goes on behind the scenes. What you're watching at home takes a group of 14 people to do, so it can be pretty chaotic, but it's a lot of fun. But what you may not realize is you also have to stay unbiased, because this is a professional type of job, and you can't pick and choose sides all the time. You have to stay really unbiased.
No matter what area of sports culture you fall into, the feeling of being a part of one team resonates everywhere.
Still ahead of IUP News, looking at adjusting from high school to college life.
That along with the outlooks of IUP's enrollment numbers after the break.
The Penn Student Newspaper is where students at IUP and members of the surrounding communities can catch up on the latest news about the weather, sports, culture, politics, and everyday events in Indiana. You can find such news articles on their website, thepen.org. There you can also view their multimedia page full of videos and skits revolving around current trends on campus. Wanting to advertise your business? The Pen has you covered for that as well, with spots in their newspaper and videos. You can access all that and more at thepen.org.
So Hannah, how was your transition from high school to college? Like, what was life like?
I don't think it was that bad. I think the only thing I had to get used to was definitely the class schedule, coming from 8 classes a day in an 8-hour period to 2 classes a day ranging about 2 hours. So, but other than that, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, so basically just like us, everyone who comes here has had to make the big step forward. This story by our scholar Sabansky may help elaborate further.
Many problems arise when a student begins to make the transition between high school education to college-level courses.
Transition from high school to college, it was a little bit rough. I think it's just college is a lot more serious. You just have to make sure you're spending a lot of time studying and putting in a lot of work into your academics.
Not to mention that students have multiple courses to focus on while balancing life outside of their education.
Outside of my academics, I'm involved in the IUP cheer team, and I'm also treasurer of the Student Association of Nutrition and Dietetics.
Some students have to pack their schedules to stay on track for graduation.
So I did not want to take 19 credits this semester, but I had to in order to graduate on time. 2 of my classes had credits added onto them, taking me from 16 to 19.
Therein lies the question: how does a student manage and achieve this difficult goal?
In order to manage all of this, every Sunday or Monday, I write down what assignments I'm going to get done on what day, and what days I need to study for something, or if I have a cheer event or if I have a SAN meeting, I write it down. And it's basically just all goes back to time management, that you can't leave everything to do on Sunday because you're just going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to give the best performance.
As this is just one reason on why students have taken on various tasks to achieve their end goal of graduating. Others run into issues of credits not transferring when changing universities.
Before transferring to IUP, I came from Harrisburg Area Community College. I transferred in with 30 credits and only 15 of them came in.
As this is unfortunate, there are ways students can catch up.
Every semester that I've been here, I've taken 15 credits, and I do take winter and summer classes.
As each student has different expectations to achieve, what makes us all the same is we are students of IUP. We all have our own story to write while balancing many different duties inside and outside the academic halls. Reporting in Indiana, PA, Skylar Sabansky, IUP News.
As we reach the end of the semester, you probably heard about the issue of low enrollment at IUP for the past few years. Some students, especially those who are graduating this semester, reflect how this factor affects them directly. Jacqueline Himes has the story.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania has been considered home to many students from all over for about 147 years. When the doors opened to what was then Indiana Normal School in 1897, there was around 225 students enrolled. Since then, numbers were rising, increasing the number of students who find themselves spending the next few years here in Indiana, PA. In fall 2012, IUP experienced its all-time greatest enrollment of about 15,379 students. Since this plateau, numbers have been rapidly decreasing. Enrollment numbers during the recent 2020 to 2021 school year were as low as 10,067 students. Numbers have not been that low since the 1968 to 1969 school year. I met up with graduate student Alan Gauze, who tells us his experience with the decreasing numbers.
Going to IUP since 2016. I took a gap year between my undergrad and my graduate degree now. And besides just the difference in major and grad classes being smaller, definitely a lot less people on campus. I feel like the Oak Grove used to be a little highway, but now it's not too hard to get through in between classes. I've definitely noticed a reduction in the amount of students, and it's kind of sad. It used to be bustling, but I mean, it makes housing a lot easier to get. It's a little bit cheaper, and you kind of have the corner of the market compared to the landlords.
Class sizes have been shrinking. The number of classes available have also been shrinking. No one can tell exactly why enrollment has been decreasing. However, I'm sure we can all agree we hope to see higher numbers in the future. I'm Jacqueline Hines reporting for IUP TV News.
After the break, places where people choose to study for a better focus on assignments.
And more insight of how finals play out here at IUP.
Need a place to study? You should come to the Stapleton Library at IUP. Stapleton has various places for students to get work done. There are individual cubicles and areas if students want to work alone. Also, there are multiple group areas for collaboration. It's a good place to get schoolwork done, and it beats sitting in your room.
Students chose different ways to study and prepare their finals. For our reporter, Blake Marciano, finding the right place to study is the key. Fortunately, there are plenty of studying spaces on campus. Here's the story.
As finals approach, stress for IUP students increases. Luckily, the campus provides many spaces for studying for these exams. If you have obnoxious roommates, there is always an escape from your dorm to go study somewhere else. The first location I would like to mention is the library. The IUP library provides silence to those who need it to stay focused.
I only really study in the library when it's for like bigger tests or bigger projects.
I find it a lot easier to study here. There are less distractions.
It's more quiet, you know. I have a lot of space in the library, so I can get my work done.
As well as the library, the campus also provides other areas to study, such as the hub. The hub has plenty of dining options on the bottom floor. However, if you are looking for a quieter space, just head upstairs. The space provides a computer lab, TVs, and a variety of furniture for you to get comfy in while studying. As well as the hub, this year, IUP has opened Folger during the day. Folger was originally only open from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., but now, Folger is open during the day for students to visit at any time. If you'd rather study in the outdoors, the Oak Grove has recently added chairs for students to sit in and study in the beauty of nature. Since winter is approaching, I would advise bringing a jacket if you plan on studying outside. It's time to get in the Grove at IUP. As finals approach, it is best to not push off studying till the night before. This is Blake Marciano, reporting for IUP TV News.
Still about finals, Courtney Thornton is here to show us some tips on how to cope with pressures and do well. Here's the story.
It's finals week at IUP. Students are beginning to feel pressured about exams and final projects. This is a time where most students panic or their days become hectic. Some students have finals under control and can handle the pressure. Others find finals week to be very stressful and draining. Every student has their own way to deal with it. One student says he barely has to study for any of his finals.
It depends on the final. Like some finals I have this semester, there's one that there's a note card for. I can use the note card for it, so I'm not worried about that. All my other classes have papers, so I don't really study as much as it is just like putting in the time to actually make something.
Some students get simple finals and don't have to take any test at all. But for those who have tougher finals, here's some tips and advice from Jazzy Jones.
Tip number 1, study in a comfortable place.
Make sure you can be there for a long period of time without any distractions. It helps if you're not somewhere familiar.
Tip number 2, focus on one subject at a time.
Multitasking can be difficult when trying to memorize information. Keep your classes separate as you study.
Tip number 3, go back over your notes.
Always review what you studied. This will help you remember information a lot better.
Tip number 4, make sure that you're always taking breaks.
It's fine to give your brain a break, but try not to take too many naps.
Take your time, use time management, and make sure that you are checking all the things off your to-do list.
Planning out your work in advance can be very helpful, especially when you're trying to get everything done for finals. Once everything is finished, make sure you relax and laugh with friends. Self-care is very important after all those tests. Good luck, and do good on your finals.
Looking for some new entertainment? Check out IUP TV today. This station features student-created content such as The Big Hit for sports coverage, Animation Nation for all things anime and tunes, Indie Rockers Ball for local music acts, Press Start for your game fix, and Witticism for a laugh. Tune in on campus TV or on our respective YouTube channels today. There's something for everyone, made by the people that you know.
Hello, I'm Don McCarran with this week's IUP Sports News, and here are your daily sports teams. Starting off this week, the men and women's track team will be at Youngstown, Ohio. The time is undetermined right now, but they will be at their meet. Next, the men and women's swimming and diving team will be at Erie, PA, where they will be going against Gannon at 1 p.m. Following that, the women and men's basketball team play at Mansfield, PA on Friday and Bloomsburg on Saturday, with the women's playing at 5:30 on both days, with the guys playing at 7:30 on both days as well. With a 19-13 win last Saturday, the IUP football team is advancing in the NCAA tournament, where they will be playing against Shepherd again at 1 p.m. this Saturday at Miller Stadium. Wrapping up this news, we're going to touch on the World Cup a little bit as the United States continue their undefeated streak against Iran with their 1-0 victory, with Christian Pulisic scoring in the 31st minute of the soccer game. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, you guys take care and have a great night.
Today, Static will be hosting a Flick and Flow event at Zinc Hall. This includes swimming and a Hawaiian-themed watch party for Disney's Moana. This event starts at 8 p.m. and is free for all students.
While the days are getting shorter and colder, we want to remind you to take care of your mental health. Just Pause is having their weekly gathering with therapy dogs to warm your heart. The event is on Monday at 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Folger Student Center. Our question of the week: how are you preparing for finals? Comment your answer on our Instagram at IUP_news.
That will do it for IUP News this week. On the next show, we'll have stories about topics like going home for the holidays and what it takes to be a news reporter. I'm Jasmine Russell.
And I'm Don McCarran. On behalf of the IUP News team, we want to thank you for choosing us as your local news source.
And don't forget to listen to our new show on 90.1 WIUP FM every Tuesday and Friday at 4 p.m. And follow our Instagram page at IUP_news. With that being said, I'm Hannah Caminetti. Please take care and good night.